instead of finding systemic changes to get Dalit women out of their marginalized locations, people have started using that narrative to kind of box Dalit women or stereotype Dalit women into these little victim sort of boundaries, right? Which is not helping them in any way. Instead, it is only limiting us in the way we imagine ourselves or in the way we want to envision ourselves as independent women, as successful women, as happy women. That does not seem to be happening. To be quite honest, it has been a very difficult and a very tough sort of a time, processing what has happened. But while I've been processing as a fairly privileged, fairly secure Dalit woman, I've also kind of reminded myself that what has happened in Hathras is not a one-off incident, right? It so happened that with this incident, we've had this kind of outrage for good reason, triggered by people who felt shocked and horrified by what they, have heard on media, mostly because of the magnitude of the brutality of the crime. But while I was processing it, it feels like this world sometimes is not at all aware of how deep and how big this problem is, which is caste-based sexual violence. We are dealing with a much bigger problem than just one incident, which creates a furor for just that one time. And then we move on to another incident. And after 2 to 3 years' time, we will get to witness another horrible episode, which makes it to popular mainstream media. And then people start reacting to it. And then the cycle sort of continues. So I think that's one thing that I definitely want to see change in the public psyche or in the public imagination, that caste-based sexual violence is a huge problem in India for Dalit women and Dalit girls. Secondly, I think what needs to change is how we view and how we perceive Dalit women as individuals and as collectively. Because currently the narrative that is in place, which has all the good reasons for, that is, a significant number of Dalit women are victimized by caste, gender, class, and other social stratifications. It is also important that this narrative does not become deterministic, which right now it is. So much so that instead of finding systemic changes to get Dalit women out of their marginalized locations, people have started using that narrative to kind of box Dalit women or stereotype Dalit women into these little victim sort of boundaries, right? Which is not helping them in any way. Instead, it is only limiting us in the way we imagine ourselves or in the way we want to envision ourselves as independent women, as successful women, as happy women. That does not seem to be happening. So I think that is also something that I hope will change, not just amongst how we are viewed by the observers, but how we view ourselves as well. And I'm aware that the change that I'm asking for will take a long time. It's also a deeper psychological, a very deep sort of change that I'm asking for, right? Something has to change from within. But I believe that's the direction that we need to go to, because if we want to completely move out of this place of being victims and being oppressed by caste-based sexual violence, we also need to look towards an alternative vision, an alternative reality where we are happy women, where we are secure women, stable women, women who are not just thinking about survival, but also about, being able to thrive.